50 family members of late freedom fighter Subhas Chandra Bose will be meeting Prime Minister Modi in the national capital today. The family will be going to the Prime Minister's 7 RCR residence. Bose's family members are expected to seek declassification of Bose files in possession of the centre, as the West Bengal government has already released 64 such files. Bose's family is also expected to demand another inquiry commission to look into Bose's disappearance. Bose's relatives will be taking a special jacket with Bose's pictures on it as a special gift for the Prime Minister.
A delegation of 50 people comprising 35 relatives of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose and 15 activists are going to be meeting the Prime Minister this evening. I have with me two of the relatives of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose to speak about the issues they'll raise with Prime Minister Modi. Ma'am, first to you, what is going to be your request to the Prime Minister with regards to Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose and his demise, as to how he passed away?
Well, I won't say at that passing away. We did not receive any further news after the so-called air crash that happened in Taihoku, and we understand that there are many files, very secret files, very important files with the PMO and with the ministry here, and we would ask the Prime Minister to declassify those files so that the truth comes out.
Mr. Ray, you know, so far the government has held the view that if they declassify the files related to Netaji, then it could lead to certain complications with other countries, relations with certain foreign countries. Do you buy this argument?
No, we never buy this, and there's no reason to say that after 70 years, the foreign relations with some countries, or bilateral relations with some foreign countries, will be at stake or jeopardized. Because what we think is that what was there before 70 years, before 70 years it was Soviet Union, now it's Russia. So a lot of things have changed. Secondly, I would like to humbly ask the government, the central government, is knowing the truth about Netaji is not more than the bilateral relations, because we would like to know the truth. What happened to Netaji after 18th of August 1945?
Let's get a word from our Deputy Editor Atir Khan, who's with us live from the national capital. Atir, we're being told Netaji's family, along with a delegation of some 50 people, expected to meet the Prime Minister today. What are the kind of assurances that they're looking at?
Well, that's right. You know, the Prime Minister has already committed to meet the family members. He's been looking forward to it. He's been talking about it for a while now. Yesterday also he tweeted that he's honored to meet the family members. Similarly, the family members, it is a very important day, since they are hopeful of now, after the West Bengal government's declassification of the files, they are hopeful that at least they'll get a time frame for the declassification of files by the centre. Moreover, they are also looking for an assurance by the government that a high-level committee, or perhaps a SIT, will be formed which will look into declassification of files in foreign countries as well. Remember, there are files in UK, Russia, Japan, which also need to be declassified to unravel this mystery. So they are looking forward to it, and they are fully prepared. They have brought different kinds of gifts for the Prime Minister, including a shawl, photographs of Netaji. So any moment now they are likely to arrive at 7 RCR. Since it's a big delegation, it will take a while for them for the security checks. So they want to be reach here well in advance, so that the meeting happens at 5 o'clock, and we'll get to know what sort of assurance they've got from the Prime Minister.
Atir, thanks so much for that update. We're going to keep coming back to you for more. Those are pictures that we're getting you of Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's niece, along with other family members, and a delegation of 50 that will be meeting Prime Minister Modi at his 7 RCR residence today. Those are pictures that we're playing out live from the national capital. Our Deputy Editor Atir Khan getting us the latest on this story. This delegation is also reportedly carrying some gifts for the Prime Minister. We're being told that they want declassification of Bose files that are being held by the centre. The West Bengal government has already declassified some 64 files on late freedom fighter Subhas Chandra Bose that exposed how the Nehru regime had been keeping a close tab on family members of the freedom fighter almost 20 years after his disappearance. Atir, the West Bengal government has already made public 64 files related to the late freedom fighter, but the family still believes there's crucial information that still remains to be unearthed.
That's right. The files which have been declassified by the West Bengal government give some idea about Netaji's relationship with his elder brother Sharad Bose. It also gives an insight into that the family was being snooped. That is what the family has been claiming. But the fact that where did Netaji disappear and what happened to him still remains a mystery. Successive governments have come, but nothing have come out regarding the information. There have been many commissions which have inquired into his disappearance, but the family is not satisfied with the findings and they want further probe, and that could only happen when the files at the center are declassified along with the files which are placed in foreign countries.
Right, Nathir, one of his foreign trips as well, the Prime Minister had met family members of the late freedom fighter and assured all possible help from the centre.
Well, clearly, yes, he's been saying that he's committed to the cause, and when he went to Germany also, he met family members, again during his visit to West Bengal, and now, he has again tweeted that he's looking forward to the meeting. He's honoured, and never before any Prime Ministers had this privilege of meeting the entire family members who have come from different parts of the world. Remember, 35 of them have now assembled from different parts of the world for this cause here at the 7RCR.
These are live pictures that we're getting you from the national capital. Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's niece, along with other family members, which comprises of a delegation of 50, will be meeting the Prime Minister this evening at his 7RCR residence. Bose's family is expected to seek declassification of Bose files that are in the possession of the central government. The West Bengal government, remember, has already released 64 such files that have unearthed how the Nehru government had been keeping a close tab on family members of the late freedom fighter. Almost 20 years after his disappearance, there was surveillance on his family, and their movements and interactions were being closely watched by the IB. This is what was unearthed after the West Bengal government declassified Bose files. Now a delegation from West Bengal, which comprises of Netaji's family and other supporters of the family, will be meeting the Prime Minister seeking declassification of files that are being held by the central government. In fact, on one of his foreign tours, the Prime Minister had also met Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's kin and promised all possible support. Atir Khan, our deputy editor, reporting on how there are other governments as well, neighbouring governments perhaps, who hold crucial files related to the freedom fighters' disappearance. Arthur, you're pointing out that it's not just the central government here in India which has in its possession crucial files that could throw some light into Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose's disappearance, but some other countries as well that could provide some clue. And that's what also the family wants from the Prime Minister, an assurance that the government will be getting in touch with the governments of other countries and seek their cooperation in unearthing this mystery as well.
Well, that's right. It is a Herculean task. So, declassifying files which are lying in foreign countries. Moreover, when the Prime Minister is meeting the family members, he must have thought about it, and he must have had his thoughts about, how he would go about it. So we'll get to know what really happens after the meeting is done. But clearly, files which are lying in the UK, its external intelligence agencies was monitoring Netaji. And as per their reports also, he was active in Southeast Asian countries. So the mystery behind his disappearance could only be unraveled when all those files are unraveled and could declassified. So this can happen with the active government support, but the government also has to see what will be the fallout, what will be the diplomatic fallout once these files are declassified within the countries and in foreign countries as well, Simi.
And Arthur, we've seen a political blame game also play out between the BJP and the Congress over declassification of Bose files. The Congress the Congress party was embarrassed almost by the kind of details that were unearthed, which showed how the Nehru government had kept a close tab on relatives of Subhash Chandra Bose almost 20 years after his disappearance. The BJP alleged that this was done because Jawaharlal Nehru, the former Prime Minister, was insecure about Bose's influence and wanted to know whether he was in touch with his family or not.
Well, yes, of course, this meeting will also play out as a political event. The West Bengal government has already declassified files and taken a lead on this, but if the centre decides to declassify these files, will certainly give mileage to the BJP in West Bengal in 2016 assembly elections. But clearly, there is a flip side to it, the diplomatic fallout, which the successive governments have been maintaining, that once these files are declassified, it could have the impact of India's relations, bilateral relations with different countries. However, the relatives are not willing to buy this theory. They say that it's been now 70 years. If the present government declassifies these files, it won't make any difference, and they are quite hopeful of the meeting with the Prime Minister, and they are likely to get some assurance. That's what their thoughts are.